Hello, I'm Keith Bashirs. I am Bald Guy Marketing, and today is a rehearsal for a presentation on 5 factors affecting a business's online reputation and what you can do about it. And when I say a business, primarily I'm talking about small for-profit businesses, but I also mean um, local nonprofits. And I certainly don't mean to imply that large businesses don't also have these issues. Just typically have a larger pool of resources in terms of the number of people in their organization that can address these kinds of issues. Where a small business or a local nonprofit, many of these tasks fall on a handful of people who are wearing multiple hats and trying to accomplish all of the things that are necessary. Um, and some of these administrative tasks that fall through the cracks directly impact the company's bottom line. So, 5 factors that affect a business's reputation is their online reviews and ratings, their ability to communicate in a timely manner, their presence on social media, how well they deliver their product or service, and their transparency in the process of delivering their value proposition. So I'm going to move my head out of the way and we're going to cover my logo because that's not quite so important. So online reviews, the effect on your reputation is that positive reviews encourage trust, negative reviews degrade trust. 86% of customers consider the average rating when they're making a purchasing decision. 73 considers how recent the most recent review is. So if it's more than, let's say, 90 days as a rule of thumb, it's less relevant than if it is last week or even last month. And then this number has actually decreased in the last year or two. It's now 60% consider the total number of reviews. There's no rule of thumb for like how many reviews a company should have. It's a relative number relative to how big the company is, how long the company's been in business. Um, but also there's a factor here in whether the reviews feel natural and organic, or whether there's a perception that the reviews are contrived. So these are factors that are to consider in how you're getting reviews, who you're getting your reviews from. A huge impact on on reputation for small businesses is that people are attempting to engage with that business 24/7, and yet each of us is only available a set number of hours on any given day. And so if the company has only 1 or 2 people that are responding to messages, having a system in place that can at least start a conversation on behalf of the business, until that business owner crawls out from underneath a house if they're a home inspector or a plumber, or gets out from behind the lawnmower if they're a lawn care company. Um, if they're in the middle of running spreadsheets when the phone's called because they're an accountant, they might skip the phone call in order to not lose their place in their task. If the company doesn't have a system in place to engage that prospect is going to bounce and go find somebody whose business does answer the phone in a timely manner, answer the phone or chat or whatever way that person reached out. Social media is the single most powerful tool that's ever been handed to the individual to be able to communicate. It's a very much a democratization of communication hierarchy. Um, but consumers then are using that presence of that business on social media to judge how credible the company is and what their level of engagement and care with their clients are. And I used the jargon term engagement. Bridget Willard says, BridgetWillard.com says, be social on social. It's the media is the content that you're producing. The social is the engagement. Have conversations with people. Don't talk out people on social media. Um, Delivery quality. So there's a core expectation that Brian Harding in Service Industry Success says that the product must meet the standards of the industry are absolutely a given. It's non-negotiable. Um, but how you communicate that value proposition and how you set the expectation for um, where where this particular product falls on the value ladder. If it's a low price product, it might have quality, might mean it does what it promises to do, but it doesn't have a certain level of luxury associated with it. Where if it has a higher premium price, it might do the same basic thing, but in a more refined way. And it feels like a more luxury or premium experience. Those are both totally valid approaches to delivering quality. The issue is the company needs to set the expectation in the way they communicate so that the customer has the correct expectation. And that ties into the transparency and trustworthiness. If you have clear communication of what your business processes are, the customers, most people are pretty flexible, pretty tolerant of the normal things that happen in life. What gets companies in trouble is when they try to act like everything's going to happen instantly and it's going to be a very refined product, and they aren't able to deliver on that expectation. So set the expectation of how quickly you can deliver to what level of refinement. And maybe you have a phase thing where you deliver an initial thing right away and then refine it a couple times for the final product. And that's a valid delivery method if you're delivering some kind of intellectual property kind of type deliverable. All right, so so things that affect the business's reputation, online reviews, the communications with the customer, how that business behaves on social media, the ability of the product or service to meet the expectations of the customer, and how well the business communicates its value proposition to its prospects and to its customers. All these affect the business's reputation, and the images on each of my pages was about how we can use automations and technology to help that small business owner or that local nonprofit director achieve some of these things with less manual work, less time spent typing on a cell phone or on a computer in response to individual messages, having pre-formatted and pre-structured responses for known topics, having the ability to have the automation very quickly peruse the frequently asked questions page and respond directly to customers saying, this is the answer to the question you're asking, even though you happen to ask it in a slightly different way. All right. And my call to action is I do have a financial assistance program. My goal is that no small business owner is going to be paying themselves less than 2 times the federal poverty line. So if the company's earning is taking home for the business owner less than that amount, my system is set up to give them a maximum discount on all the services portions of my products. I'm Keith. I'm the bald guy. I help small business owners with marketing theory, tactics, techniques, training, and technology.